method was simple: stalk his victims, abduct them, and play with them before finally ending their lives. The police were after him, but he was always one step ahead, until he met Emily Carter. Emily was a quiet and humble schoolteacher in a small town. Her beauty and innocence became an obsession for Jonathan. But this time, something was different. He didn't want to kill her. He wanted to keep her. He wanted to make her love him. One night, Jonathan abducted Emily. He took her to an old abandoned cabin deep in the woods. "I won't hurt you. You're different," he whispered. But Emily was terrified. She spent days, then weeks in that dark place. Jonathan kept telling her that one day, she would love him too. But love cannot be forced. Only a few more to reach 500 subscribers. Please help me out. Subscribe and like the video. Thank you, good person. One night, Emily tried to escape. When Jonathan caught her, she screamed in rage, "I will never love you. You are a monster." In that moment, something in Jonathan's eyes changed. Love was over. Emily died in his hands that night. But before she took her last breath, she whispered, "The place you buried me will be your grave too." Jonathan buried her body in the woods beside the cabin and walked away, convinced he had erased her from existence. But nothing was the same after that. Months later, Jonathan started waking up at night, sweating. He could hear whispers, Emily's voice. Her scent lingered in his home. In the mirror, in the dark corners of his room, her eyes were watching him. And then, the killings started. Someone was hunting him down, using his own methods, murdering his past victims. The police were after this new serial killer, but this time, Jonathan was the target. Every night, he dreamed of Emily's blood-red eyes. He was trapped in fear, always waiting for death to come. Finally, he realized he couldn't escape. There was only one place to go: the cabin. Final night, Jonathan returned to the cabin. The second he stepped inside, his breath caught in his throat. There, on the floor, lay Emily's body just as he had buried her. But her eyes were open, and she was smiling. Jonathan screamed, but no one heard him. The door slammed shut. The lights went out. The next morning, the police arrived at the cabin. They found Jonathan's corpse inside. His hands were wrapped around his own throat, his eyes wide open in horror. But the most terrifying part? Emily's body was missing.